Think about that. So that's the biggest thing for drivers. And a lot of them who've been driving a long time are unaware of this. The problem for the drivers is that they're always on the defensive in this. So they have two problems. One, they're defending a criminal prosecution, but they're also doing so while their license is suspended. You just have to behave these days as if you're constantly being watched. You know what the speed limit is?
Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel Harbor NYC. In this video we are going to be having a very productive conversation with one of the most experienced lawyers in TLC industry, Greg Gallo, and who has protected thousands of drivers in TLC and state courts, giving them the right representation. With over 20 years in experience, he's going to be talking about top things to do when, number one, drive car every day, number two, if you get a ticket, and number three, if you get arrested. So stay tuned and let's watch the rest of the video. Hi Greg, thank you so much for coming to our channel, for making the time. So how long have you been in the industry?
About 20 years now, and I started out representing drivers on a daily basis with their tickets.
I see.
So I got to see the patterns that they would have to go through and what they were dealing with every day.
So having so many drivers on the road and so many accidents and tickets and things like that, you probably have a lot. You're probably very busy.
Yeah.
So what is one thing that we should, as a Uber driver, should really think about when they're driving on the road?
Use technology. So just as you get a call through technology, use technology to protect yourself, and you can do that by having a camera that can record everything that's going on outside of the vehicle and inside of the vehicle. But it's very important, and this is in the taxi rules, that if you're going to record anything in the passenger compartment, you have to have a sign that notifies the passengers specifically they are being photographed.
Right.
And that's set forth in the rules. So that's really important. If you just buy some camera on Amazon, it's not going to have that. You're a commercial driver, you need that.
Okay, so you have to be responsible for getting that on your own, that sticker.
Right.
So Greg, is there any way to avoid a ticket in the road? Is that something possible at all?
There's definitely ways to reduce your chances of getting tickets. And for instance, just like you have a camera, well, so does New York City. Everywhere you go now, New York City has cameras. So whether it be locations throughout the city where they have red light cameras, they have speeding cameras that detect your speed through telematics. I'm sure a lot of drivers know Queens Boulevard is a notorious location, part of Vision Zero, but now also the bus lanes have cameras, and they've just ramped them up. So now the buses have the cameras, spots throughout the bus lanes have cameras. So if you concentrate on those areas, you'll be able to reduce your ticket. In the year, the fiscal year from June of 2018 to 2019, there were 371,546 speed camera violations.
Oh wow. Those cameras are busy bees.
Think about that. So that's the biggest thing for drivers. And a lot of them who've been driving a long time are unaware of this. They're unaware of that these cameras are popping up everywhere. So, the other thing is if the speed limit's not posted in New York City, do you know what the speed limit is?
25.
Yeah. But yeah, it's 25. Drivers should know that, but let's face it, they're trying to get from A to B kind of quickly because they have to. They do this for revenue. So.
But those apps right now, sometimes Waze and Google Maps, they inform you when they have those cameras as well, which is, something that drivers should probably pay attention to as well.
They do, but I'll give you an example. I was traveling, I guess you would call it southbound or westbound on Queens Boulevard to get here, and I didn't see Waze notify me of speed cameras, and they're there. There's red light cameras and there's speed cameras. I know because I go there all the time. So that's not, you just have to behave these days as if you're constantly being watched. It's very Orwellian now.
Very Big Brother.
Yes, exactly right.
All right, so you're driving, you're avoiding all those spots, but this is New York City, so you still get a ticket. What can you do then?
Well, there's a few things you could do. The first thing is you'd want somebody who knows how to actually go through these tickets and read them and vet them properly to make sure the ticket's even proper. Most dismissals do result from procedural issues. For instance, the tickets written incorrectly. Somebody who doesn't do this every day wouldn't know what to look for, but somebody who does do it every day would know what to look for. So that's the first thing I would suggest.
When an Uber driver gets a ticket, do you think they can fight it on their own, or should they get professional help?
It depends. Well, let's say it's a DMV ticket that carries points or a TLC ticket that carries points. I think they should always be looking to have somebody look at that ticket and possibly represent them in a hearing. Remember, a hearing is really about making a record, because if they don't like the decision of the administrative law judge, they can always appeal it. But if you don't make a record, and the average driver is not going to know to make a record, how to make a record, and what questions to ask on cross-examination. So because of the leverage involved and the seriousness of, let's say, a point violation, they can probably look at having somebody help them.
Right, and also getting points on your license can either eliminate you from being a driver from Uber, right?
Very quickly, yeah.
Or get your insurance costs high up, so it's probably very important to get professional help.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have tickets that are very common, but we also hear that some drivers get arrested, and that happens. What can you do then, and what do they get arrested for?
Well, the first thing that happens is when a driver is arrested, even if it's not a serious arrest, it does get reported from what they call DCJS over to the taxi commission, and their license gets suspended without even having a hearing. They are then allowed to have a hearing. But why do they get arrested? I mean, it varies, but unfortunately, because they're out on the road, they sometimes fall prey to road rage of other drivers, hit and run scams where people are trying to collect insurance money. So they'll say this taxi cab hit them because it's easy to get the medallion number and make a 311 call. But the problem for the drivers is that they're always on the defensive in this. So they have two problems. One, they're defending a criminal prosecution, but they're also doing so while their license is suspended. But the good news is, they've changed it now, so they look at certain factors. For instance, was a driver arrested for doing something in the course of his job, his or her job out on the road? If it's a domestic dispute, that doesn't concern the driver. In the course of his duties, how serious was it?
So they look at everything now.
Right, so what the court is saying, the court said, is that what the taxi commission has the burden of doing is proving that the driver, as charged, assuming the charges are true, would pose a danger to the public if they were allowed to continue to drive.
Interesting. So the arrest doesn't have to be tied to the driving offense?
Absolutely not.
So let me just understand something. So that means that you don't have to have a criminal offense while driving to get your TLC license suspended?
That's right. It could have nothing to do with you as a driver and on your personal time, and you will be suspended.
So it could be domestic abuse or anything, like any other arrest that is not related. It happens after hours, after work, that can affect your license.
Absolutely right.
So let's just go crazy, like, I don't know, pissing off the bridge, George Washington Bridge, you get arrested, TLC license is suspended.
As ridiculous as that is, yes.
Throwing a bottle at White House.
Yes.
Like a alcohol bottle, I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. But I mean, it's good that they're looking at everything like thoroughly right now.
It's good that they're actually having meaningful suspension hearings. For years, we would go through this, and I would advise drivers, don't do it for two reasons. One, you can incriminate yourself, especially if you go without a lawyer. And two, you're just spending money for nothing because nothing's going to change. Well, now it's different.
Okay, so now there's some fairness to it.
That's a good word, because right now it's fair. It's a fair hearing. It makes sense now.
So, okay, so what's the most common crime that you're being arrested for that is not related to driving?
I would say possession, solicitation of, services, and which apparently in some states may become legal, and domestic. domestic, domestic
Violence.
situations.
So we've discussed all the important legal advice with Greg. Thank you very much for coming, for giving us great notes and advice on driving as an Uber driver. So if you want to contact Greg, if you have a problem, his contact information is going to be below or in our description video, so you can get the best you can. So we're gonna end this video on a very exciting note. We're gonna have our first giveaway for one person, and in order to be eligible, you have to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment below. And the prize is Porvio. I thought that was upside down, but it's not. Porvio dash cam. It's a camera that we talked about in one of our previous videos. So once again, one winner takes all. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below, and win this thing. Thank you for watching our video. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Harbor NYC TV.